is LaTasha Blanton from the Real South Africa, and this is...
I'm Blanton, if you don't already know. And welcome to our home here in South Africa. We've been here for a little while. Haven't got everything done like we want, but nonetheless, it's coming along just fine.
Yeah, so welcome to our home. Like you said, you know, we're just gonna take our time and get it right this time since we worked really, really hard to live our dream, which is to be in South Africa full time. So here we are. So today we're just gonna talk a little bit about some of the trips that we have coming up, some of the cheaper trips that you guys might be interested in, and then of course tell you a little bit about Johannesburg, which is the main focal point of the trips that you'll be participating in.
Okay, yeah, I just want to talk a little bit about Joburg. People say, well, why you choose Joburg? Well, first of all, it's in South Africa. Number two, one of the biggest things people don't know is that most of the entertainment, pretty much everything that goes on in South Africa is actually in Joburg. Of course, you have all the other cities, and we'll get to those at some point. But right now, I think the best way to enjoy South Africa is to get deep into all the areas that are in Joburg. One of the areas that is an artsy district, and of course some of the food is Mowening, one of those areas, and it's kind of hard to say. It's even harder to spell. You have Rosebank, which is a trendy area, place somewhere you would want to go, and that's why we want to put that on the trip, and we want you to come. Also, there's Sandton City, which is kind of like the jewel of all of Joburg. Pretty much everything happens there.
Yeah, there's more money in that little Sandton City area per capita of all of Johannesburg. That's where all the money actually is. It's a really built up area. It's beautiful. That's where the big statue that you see pictures of all the time of Nelson Mandela, the huge one that's there. But it's a really beautiful area. All the shops there are upscale. There's a part of the mall there called Diamond Walk. And it's rightly named simply because all of the high-end shopping that's there, people from Europe come to do their shopping here, mainly because is it the Euro?
Yeah.
Or British pound. Either one's more than the range. They come here so that they can basically get stuff for a little bit cheaper than take it back home. So that's, Sandton City. And then there's Mellors Arch. There's Soweto, which everyone hears about all the time. And in particular, Soweto is short for
Southwest Township.
Yeah. And I think that you tell the story about Soweto better. It's a really nice area, just based on the culture that you're able to get down there. The food is also great. You'll hear us talk about food all the time because that's what the people kind of gather around: food, music. What would be the third thing?
Food, music, and fashion.
Yeah.
You see a lot of fashion here. It's funny when we go out. My daughter was just here, and she says everybody's always turning up. Everywhere you go, there's a turn up. And when I thought about it and I looked, I said, yeah, everybody's grabbing their coolers and they're going to a shady spot with some music, and it's all announced, and you can get there, and it's free to get in most of the time. Sometimes they have artists, always have fashion people who, local people who put their fashion out. But you get all that here in Johannesburg, and there's much, 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 much more. It's kind of hard to explain in any one video. We'll probably do a series of videos, but the thing is that once you get here, you will start thinking to yourself, wow, first of all, we're not on a resort. We can pretty much go anywhere without having to, worry, because ultimately the places we go, they're very safe. I'm sure you heard about maybe crime, but again, I turn the TV on and they're always talking about Chicago. Even in the small little towns, there's issues. So it's funny that it does exist, but like I said, we've been here coming back and forth for years, haven't seen it. But we're putting all this together basically for you. We do that because we know that we want to do something exciting and do something at least every year, and not waste our vacation time just kind of just sitting around. Maybe go to a resort somewhere, maybe go to I don't know, not knocking Sandos or Disney, but just kind of doing that with a ton of people and not having your own space.
Right.
But with us, when you come, like I said, we have a whole city that we go to. Johannesburg is huge. One of the things that we like too is that there's always something going on.
Always.
There's always something.
Doesn't matter what day of the week it is.
Yeah, always something going on, some entertainment venue. And if you stop and think about it, you know, most people here are black, and you know what they like because we just do. But just imagine that on a large scale, meaning millions and millions of people in their own city, doing their own thing, making all the rules, and you start to feel comfortable. So that's why we always advocate, hey, if you're going to do something, come back to the culture. And as far as we're concerned, this is about as close as you're going to get to Wakanda. It is what it is.
Wakanda forever.
That's right.
I mean, just to add to what he was saying, when it comes to the culture, at our core, we're all pretty much the same. We like the same things. I'm not gonna say that the media doesn't perpetuate the crime here, or that they tell you that South Africans don't like Americans. You've heard me say it before, I'll say it again. They don't like an arrogant American. If you come here open, willing to learn about their culture, willing to listen to what they have to say, and at the same time exchange and kind of network information, you'll be much better served. There's no pretenses here. No one asks you what you do or how much money you make. They don't care. They want to know who you are. And that was one of the amazing things that we liked about being here, because coming from the Washington, D.C. area where we lived prior to being here, there was never a moment where you would go to a bar and within 5 minutes, someone's asking you, or less, someone's asking you what you do, where do you work? They want to know what your GS number is, what your GS position is. I don't know anything about that. I was a physical therapist, we owned a business, but my point is they don't think about those things here. At least not that we've noticed in the last 8-9 years of traveling here. And that's a very calming thing for me, because it means you can just come here and you can just be, and you can experience the culture, the peace that just being here gives you, and that's huge when you're coming from a situation where you're full of anxiety every day, going to work, not necessarily understanding that you have that anxiety, you ignore it until you get here and you realize that it doesn't exist. And that's when you start to say, maybe I should think about South Africa as an option when it comes to what I want to do as far as my travel is concerned. And is this a long-term thing I need to be thinking about? What are the opportunities here? What can I add to the culture? Because most people have enough skill set on their own that they can come here and give back to the people here and help them build a country that's 20 plus years post apartheid and get further than we ever did in our movement in the United States. And to be a part of that, I think, is exciting for us to be able to add to what this country is going to be able to do in the future.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the trips. They're very important to us because we want people from the U.S. to explore, get out of our norms. Let's start going to the same places that don't give back to us. We don't go away with any particular experiences. We don't feel like, hey, I know Mexico now, or I know Mexicans. No, you go to Cancun or some of the other locations and you enjoy the little space that you're in, and you pay a good amount of money, and then you come back and then, you show a few pictures and that's it. We want these trips that we have set up, we put a little effort into it. We want, we got the all-inclusive side, and we did that simply because, some people don't know, they want it done, but they don't know what to do. So we put your plane ticket from where you're located at. We make sure okay, I don't know how much to bring for food. Well, we take care of that. We roll that into the price. Okay, I don't know how am I going to get around. Am I going to Uber or am I going to do this? Nope, we put all that into the price. Where am I going to stay? Am I going to stay somewhere that's maybe not nice, or maybe it's a little shady. Nope, we put all that into the price. Where am I going to go? What am I going to do? Am I going to have a guide? Nope, all that's into the price. Pretty much everything that you're going to want to do while you're here is in the price. And then what we decide to do as a multiplier is make it a 5-star situation. So every place you're going to go while you're here is going to be 5-star. You're going to stay in some of the best hotel. You're going to stay in the best locations. You're going to be probably in the best. You're going to eat at the best restaurants. And all this is all South African style too. You're going to eat in the best restaurants. You're going to go to the best locations, the best events here while you are on a trip with us. So that's why when you look at the price, we want it to be a true all-inclusive situation. And we don't want you to have to go somewhere, okay, I got to pick between 2 or 3 restaurants. I got to figure out what day I'm going to go while I'm here. And I got to share this beach with 200 or 300 other people.
Right.
And I got to go up to a bar, swim up to a bar that, obviously, everything's watered down. No, we're not doing that because this is Africa. This is South Africa. And you need to start experiencing it. And what we do know as, people who live here now, there was a time we didn't. And every time we decided we wanted to go somewhere, it was always to come back here.
For sure.
It was just always. And then it was funny because you meet people on the plane, especially African Americans, they're coming here. Why are you coming here? Man, it's so great here, it's so great. The weather's good, the people are nice, I fit in, and then for a little while, however long of a trip that you choose, you're part of the majority.
For sure.
You're part of the majority, and to walk around and you might say, well, I'm not South African, or I'm not African. Okay, that's your take on it.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else that's here in the majority views it that way. I mean, I go everywhere and I'm constantly, getting spoken to in various African languages. And the moment that I don't respond properly, they say, oh, and then I may say, excuse me, or I'm sorry, or what did you say? Oh, you're American. Yeah. And they flip it for you, and you just keep it moving. And then a lot of times they're willing to teach you and tell you things that you probably didn't know. And ultimately you start feeling comfortable just because the people are nice and they're smiling at you. Not like you're at a resort and they just have to do that. No, that's just kind of how it is here. So when you look at the trips, like I said, we have the 6-day sun and fun in South Africa. That's the all-inclusive trip, but you get a lot of things added in the trip because we want to make sure that you're fine. Of course, you're going to go to Soweto. You're going to go to of course, there's a lot of food down there. You have a great time.
It's always food.
You would definitely do. You go to a lot of venues to eat. You go to the Apartheid Museum. Everything is on the website. And let me just mention that now, therealsouthafrica.com. Everything is on the website. And then, of course, as I mentioned before, you have the all-inclusive side. And keep in mind, when I say all-inclusive, I'm not saying that's your flight. And at the same time, all the 5-star events that you're going to have, all your transportation, everything's included. So all you got to do is just book your trip. Make sure you got a passport.
For sure.
Before, make sure you check your passport. Make sure it's not expiring, and make sure it's good to go. But then once you get here, guess what you get?
You get us.
Yeah.
No, you get you get to experience it in a way that we think is going to be genuine. It's not that going to all-inclusive resorts are bad. It's just that when you come to South Africa, what we don't want you to do is drop in and drop out, take a bunch of pictures and fly through the country, which is why we're focusing most of our efforts on Johannesburg right now, because there's so much happening here, so much going on in Johannesburg. It's such a metropolis. Like, you need to feel the heartbeat of this country, and I think that it's right here in Johannesburg. Pretoria, the capital, is not that far away. We have some spaces there that we'll get to frequent and also enjoy as well. There's a lot of things in there that you will absolutely find something that you want to do, like to do, love to do, whether it be going to a casino or just going shopping or eating food. But safari, we already know that those are all things that people come to do. But we want to do it in a manner so that when you go on those trips, that you actually get to enjoy them, not just drop in, take pictures and leave. And that's kind of why the trips are designed the way that they're designed, because we actually want you to get the full experience of being in Johannesburg. You can't come to South Africa and try and do Durban, Cape Town, Joburg, KZN, Kruger National Park, and do all of that in 6, 10, or 13 days.
Yeah, you'll just be stopping and looking.
And you'll be on a plane most of the time, or traveling most of the time, trying to get to all these places because they're not that close together. I mean, you're looking at a flight from here to Durban, 2 hours and 15 minutes. A flight from here to Cape Town, another 2 hours. You spend all your time traveling, you don't really get to feel the heartbeat that I'm talking about, that you actually get to experience. And I'm fortunate because my very first time here, I spent 10 full days here in Joburg, and I got to fall in love with it in those 10 days. And we were lucky enough to be hosted by actual South Africans who allowed us into their home, beautiful home. And they took us everywhere, and we actually got to see the part of South Africa that they don't want to show you, which is why we were so enamored with coming back here and sharing it with other people, which is what our main goal is. So for 2019, I just asked people to think about their bucket list.
Yep.
Usually Africa's on someone's bucket list. A lot of times it's to do mission trips. Mission trips are great. That's a whole nother level of experience. We're not trying to give you that experience. We want to give you something that makes you think forward regarding your choices and opportunities as you get older and move forward in your life.
Yep. And the good part about it is, we got it set up for, if you want to come out here on a special occasion, you can do that. If you contact us direct and say, hey, I want to, for the men, we want to bring our wives out here on the anniversary. It's our anniversary. When something special, you let us know in advance. We'll make sure that you have your time. And keep in mind too, it's a group trip. It's a group trip. Let's not even not call it that. But at the same time, once you get comfortable and you say, you know what, Mara, hey, on a free day, or hey, in our downtime, can I go somewhere? Of course you can. This is not a resort. You ain't got to worry about taking security with you. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna make sure everything works for you, because the bottom line is you're gonna leave here and you're gonna have such a great time and such a great experience. Probably be the best vacation ever. You're probably gonna want to come back. I'm pretty sure of that. You're gonna want to come back. I've never known anybody that has come to South Africa and then turn around and be like, it was okay. It was all right. No. You come back because there's so much to see, and that's just here in Joburg.
Yeah, for sure.
That's just here in Joburg. So like I said again, just kind of, I know this video's kind of long, but just stay with us a little bit. And our biggest thing we want you to take away from it, people generally go places where they know people. Okay, I know this person, so I'm gonna go there and they're gonna take care of me. We want you to look at us as somebody in South Africa. We're gonna treat you as family. But then when you get here, hey, you with us. So if look at it that way. So don't let that be the one reason why you don't come, and don't say, well, I don't have nobody to go with me. You know what? We've had single people come here as well, and they've had a phenomenal time. Especially at the nightclubs and things like that. So it's just too many things to do. And then of course, if you want to come as a family, you could do that. Or we're finding that most people want to bring their significant other and come to here to experience it. They just want to experience it, and that's really all they want to do. And then they go back and they're calling us, oh man, that was great, or they're sending us messages and so forth, and just kind of putting the word out. So again, if you see this video, send it to people that people you think that may be interested, or because for the most part, and the truth be told, it's on most people's minds. They just don't, they go where they see our counterparts go. They go to Europe. And Europe is nice, and Dubai, and all these different things, and it's great, but it's very, very expensive. Here, just when you get here, you'll see. I think Tasha recognized, she mentioned the exchange rate. And I know in America, we don't even talk about exchange rates because we just don't. But I'm gonna give you a small example. When I got here in 2010 or 11, one of them, the exchange rate was right at about 10 South African rand to the dollar. And I thought that was great because I can pretty much purchase whatever I wanted. I did well for myself, I was happy. And then today, when you're watching this video, it is actually 14. It takes $1 equals 14.50 South African rand. So you can bring a little bit of cash. It'll go far. Everything goes far here. So, and that's another reason why people come here, because things just go far. Versus in the U.S. or especially when you go to Dubai, you get a hamburger. I put it to you like this: you get a hamburger in Dubai, just a basic hamburger, $9, $10, maybe $11. Here, you're spending a couple bucks, $2 maybe, for a nice hamburger, and I'm like fresh meat. Yeah.
There's cows everywhere. So just, consider, the value that we're trying to give to you by making the trips affordable at the 1920 rate, and also making it all inclusive, that you don't have to worry about some of the things that we talked about earlier. Yes, the exchange rate is also if you want to do something outside of that, but we are going to take care of everything else so that you don't have to worry about transportation, hotel, flight. You can just come here and actually experience South Africa the way that we think that you should actually be able to experience it. So we welcome you, we thank you in advance, and we hope that you will go to the website and book now for your trip sometime in 2019.